All right. I just settled in, and I just sent the transmission out. So, um, yeah, if you got a second to set up, it should be out there for a second.
Got it.
Yeah, the moves that we make might not get the win in this game, but I think it might set you up for perhaps what comes after. Because I know you don't have Rodgers for this game, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be without Rodgers. I mean, it's a stretch. It's a real stretch, but at least you can get some guys on the roster that want to play, and it'll set you up for everything that comes at least thereafter. At least make things competitive.
Right.
What's up, Mac?
Say hi.
How you doing? He's at that I got my own language stage.
I mean, a lot of the words, like, you don't know what he's saying until you type it, and then you kind of, oh, okay, like,
Yeah.
like that's like,
Yeah. No, I remember that. You had to get decipher mode and all
And it was funny that Nicole makes fun of me, just like, she's like, I know what you say, I'm like, yeah.
My ex-wife used to say that too. I know what you say. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah. She's like, I feel so bad because you never can understand him. But I'm like, well, when he speaks real words, I'll understand him.
Yeah. Don't make me feel like I'm inadequate. What's his name is Mac? Is it short for something? Is it short for Mackenzie or?
Short for McCoy.
McCoy? Gotcha.
Yep.
Good name.
So, yeah, he's still confident, so, but he's still running around like an animal. So.
How's the rash on his skin?
It's good. It's getting better. I had the house re-sprayed down again yesterday, and they use the stronger pesticide or whatever. They guarantee the service is not going well. That's good because you're coming back every time I see one. So.
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely.
I know. It's expensive too. Like I said, doing a yard and having the house sprayed was $1,000.
Holy shit! I had mine done once when I lived out on Lake Avenue over there. I'm kind of how did we get? I don't remember how it happened, but I don't know if it was on our animals. I can't remember what happened. We fogged our house. I remember they said they called it fogging.
Yeah.
We fogged our house one time. I can't remember, so I'm sure it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, well, I tried all that, like, the home remedy stuff first.
Yeah.
And he had a joke. He goes, they won't sell you anything with a hammer that's really strong enough to do a lot. He goes, so you'll kill one that immediately touches, and then the rest, he goes, because your doors are in the basement, and then he goes, so that's where you fall. And he goes, except what you did is you pushed the other one upstairs.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, great. And I was like, well, that's why you're here. And I want radioactive shit.
Yeah. Yeah, do whatever you gotta do, man. Lay waste to this place.
Yeah. Well, he had to come 3 times now.
and they'll keep coming until it's squared up.
Yeah, because it's guaranteed their service, so it was like,
That's cool.
I go, because I think it was like $400 to have the inside of the house done, and it was like $600 to have the yard treated. And I was like, the yard maybe don't guarantee their services. I was like, oh, that's good. But the orchid for inside the house does, and I was like, hey, look, if we can't get rid of it, we'll come back till it's gone. And I was like, good, because he came to this. And within 4 days, I started to see him again. He goes yesterday, he goes, all right, he goes, I'm not going to lie, it's like, here's a major problem. He goes, but I'm putting the good stuff on it now. I said, okay.
Yeah. As long as you're not paying extra.
No, it's all free insurance because they guarantee services.
Yeah,
So.
that's cool. What now when they bomb the place, you guys gotta leave for a certain amount of hours?
The first 2 times he did because he did the entire inside of the house. And he got leave for like 4 hours. This time he doesn't. The primary problem where I'm having issues is down in the basement.
Yeah.
Where the dogs are. So this time he came and he goes, I'm not gonna kick you out. He goes, I'm just gonna spray the shit out of your basement. He goes, and just let the dogs down there and don't go down there for a few hours. I said, alright, cool. So at least this time I didn't have to leave.
Yeah.
Because I've been in the pain because it's like,
Oh sure. 4 hours in. Let's go somewhere.
right, and it's, you know, like, you know, like, I'm like, I don't think I do him for 4 hours. Like,
3 or 4 hours is a long time.
I can waste maybe time.
Yep. Yeah, and then you're really scraping at that point. Alright, play that without. Yeah, you can't get now all your time. Let's look it up later. Oh, cool. Alright, so you know what? Right at the top. Rodgers is questionable this week, which means he's 50-50. The problem is that if you keep him in the number 1 position on your depth chart and he does come in, he's playing injured, and you don't want him to get hit. He'll go down again, and he'll be gone for the season or something. So at the end of this little morning session, we should probably put him at the bottom of the depth chart just to guarantee that he doesn't end up on the field. So, all right. Then from a morale standpoint, you got to keep Williams in. He's halfway. He's in the yellow, but that's okay. Nobody's better than him, so just hold on to him. You're good there. He's been producing. So, so you got your fullback. I gotta watch for the delay here. So the fullback, he's still in the yellow, and Joey Harris is also in the yellow. So
yeah, football.
Yeah, he knows what it is, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. So, all right. So we'll just take note. Those guys are in the yellow right now.
Okay.
Now,
is yellow, will they still perform in yellow, or is it?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all right. Yeah, if they're in the yellow, they're okay. It's just, as soon as it drops into the red, that's when it's over. So same thing. Like, I'm not even gonna look at your receivers. It don't matter. They got to be on the field. So it doesn't matter. They just got to play. But Jackson, Evans, Burns got hurt. Cameron. So we got to go to free agency to grab a receiver because we're 1 receiver short. So why don't we do that? Let's get that out of the way real quick. I'll switch the depth chart for you. Let's get Rodgers the hell out of there. We'll get him out of there. And then we'll go to free agents. Yeah, we got to grab a receiver for you just to get that thing fixed up. Let's see if there's any decent receivers. I think Malcolm Floyd. I was looking at this guy. Let's see. Or Mark Bradley. Let's see. So this Mark Bradley on the top, he's 6'2", 201. He's got decent mid-range speed. He's got decent awareness, good agility, good acceleration, good catching. I was looking at these guys earlier. Well, not today. Earlier in the week. This Bradley is a really good replacement. This Floyd is a relatively good replacement. Yeah.
From what I see, he looks good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, and he's got the size too. So, okay, the roster's full. Okay, that's a problem. All right, we got to go to the roster then. We got to see if we can cut some fat out. Let's see what you got here. I'm just going through the.
I can probably cut like 4 straight running backs.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't want. Yeah, because you got a lot of running backs here. Moreno's got to stay. Well, Coffee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and the bonus is small, so it's not going to impact it too much. So you're good there. All right, we'll make room there. He's actually. Okay, that'll open up the space for the receiver. Let's go grab Bradley.
And then I can put, depending on their injuries, if we look at the injury report,
Yes, yes. Hold on one second. I'm just double checking the morale of these guys who are on the. All right. So no, you're right. So real quick, I was checking the morale of the guys who are on the on free agency. Bradley and Floyd had lower morale. This Walker, this Javon Walker, he's cranked right up and ready to play. Let's see if his numbers are comparable, because that would be the guy you would prefer. So, speed, strength, awareness is higher than all the other ones. Agility is a little lower, acceleration is lower, catching is higher, carrying is higher, jumping is higher. I think. Let me check this North cut as well. He's down lower. I'm just trying to see who's the best candidate. So far, this is Walker. Yeah, this Javon Walker, he's 6'3", 220, and he's cranked right to the max. I think you'd probably get the best performance out of him rather than pulling another guy in who's a little bit on the edge, you know? Would you consider that?
Yeah, like I said, it's he's got higher morale and his stats are
comparable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, that's a good call. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down to 1 year, because you look, your cap room is $32 million. So what I'm going to do is I'll put it down to 1 year, so you're not obligated to do anything at the end of the year, and you'll get all the money back, and then we'll take the signing bonus off.
Because he's 31 anyway, so.
Yeah, he's a rental player at this point. And then if he actually performs, then you can always offer him a contract next year if you want, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, let me just get this set up right here. Yeah, you're fortunate because you got so much money to spend that you can actually pull off this shenanigan.
See, I didn't think I had that much money because of the move I made with Sanchez and Williams.
Well, it doesn't. Well, the move that you made with Sanchez doesn't hurt you this year. What happens is that you get all of his base money back this year, so it added to your war chest. And what happens is that the signing bonus gets applied to next year's penalty. So when you go into next year, your cap room is going to be considerably lower, because that's where you're going to pay the bonus. The bonus gets paid in the year later, and then you get his money back now. And then when you signed Williams, the Titans took the hit for the yeah, and now you got him with no bonus. So that kind of worked itself out. Okay, all right, we got Walker on the schedule for you there, so that worked out. And then okay, so we're good there. And I made the move at quarterback. All right, we'll go back to the roster. Let's check on the other positions. Let's see, Olsen, you gotta keep him there. He's still in the yellow, but I think he's playing well for you, right? And Olsen, yeah, he's still performing, so he's got to stay. What I was going to suggest was perhaps maybe let's take a look at maybe adding a tight end to your roster. Maybe you might be able to grab a third tight end, and he might actually be better than your backup, and he might have better morale. So it might be worth spending a couple bucks just to put another tight end on the roster, you know?
Yeah, let's see. Let's go to injury and see who I can put on injury reserve.
Yeah, you're right. So Goodman is questionable. So Carroll is 6 weeks. So where are we? Week 9? We're going into week 10.
Yeah, so he might as well put him on injury reserve.
Yeah, because it's a torn tricep. What's going to happen is he's going to be out for 6 weeks.
And come back and he'll be like 50-50.
Yeah, IR. So that's the right move there. Lewis.
There's a guy at the bottom that's 7 weeks, so he's out.
Yep, Lewis is out for sure.
Burns is 4 weeks, plus probably questionable. I could probably put him on IR.
Yeah, that would make sense too. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so Williams comes back in a week. Roger. Yep. Okay. All right. So that opens up some. That opens up some space for it. Okay. Now back to the roster. Okay. let's hold off on the tight end for just a second because there's more important because your starting tight end's playing. So let's see if we can milk the rest. So Gaither, I know you put Gaither in, so he's still performing. All right, Herb Taylor's all in the green. I just want to compare Taylor's numbers with your other left tackle's numbers because Taylor is 100% in the green, which means you'll get good performance out of him. Strength is good, speed good, rounds is terrible, agility's not. It's not. Let's see what blocking. Yeah, there's really not a big difference between all these guys. All right, well so let's just hold for a second. What's important is Gaither is actually starting right now, and Taylor is at full green. So let's just make a mental note of that because Taylor could be moved into another line position to support an area where you might not be getting performance.
Right. Okay.
All right, let's see what's going on at guard. All right, guard, he's in trouble there. And Anthony Davis is good. All right, so I think we made this move. We'll double check. Davis should be starting.
Yep.
Okay, we'll make a mental note of that. Once we go through the line, we'll go into the depth chart. I think we did the same thing with Grove. We went with White. Yep. Okay. So White and Davis should be starting on the line. And then Wall should stay in because he's still okay and you want him to play. Okay, so that makes sense too. And then right tackle, he's down. Let me just check. See what he's got on. Let me check his numbers. He might be worth keeping in. All right, let's check your depth chart. Make sure you got the right guy starting. I think the offense is squared away. I think we did that last time. I think it's the defense that you want to check.
Well, the offense, we did swap out some people.
Yeah. Right. So Albert is still starting. He should come out because of his morale is super low. But Taylor's at like 100. He's all in the green, and Gaither is still good to play. I think Gaither should probably start at left tackle.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a good call because he's definitely going to perform better than Albert for sure.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, you put Gaither over here. Okay, hold on.
I'd say Gainer must be starting for my right tackle who was kicked out.
Yeah, we'll move him back to left tackle. And, yeah, okay, all right. So Gaither will come back to left tackle, and then Taylor can go to right tackle. And now you've got full potential in terms of...
The left and the right side.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, so there you go. All right, so that covers your left tackle. Davis, I think we were good. White was good. Wall's good. Taylor's good. Okay, your offensive line is all you're all set. So you got that all maxed out right now.
Now we can also look on free agency to see who's available. That would be better.
Yes, good call. Let's shoot over there, and then we'll go through everybody who's available online out there. Because I do know there's some good players out there.
No, you don't need that. Eat it. Yeah. That's for the doggies.
Oh shit. Roster's full. You put those guys on IR, you should get those roster spaces back.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, right. Why don't I get those spaces back? It's odd. I'm just towing through here just to see how these guys look. Hold on a second. Let me go back to your roster for a second. I want to go to the breakdown and see what they're saying you've got. Active. Inactive 6. It don't make sense. You should be able to get those guys in those positions back. Huh. Alright, work with me here. Let's take a quick look at the roster. See if we can trim some fat. You've got 3 strong safeties.
Get rid of one.
Yeah, and the bonus is like 160. That's nothing. Yeah, this will open up a spot for you here.
Yeah, I'm curious as to why injured reserve isn't giving me a roster.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. I always thought that it did.
It does in real life.
Right. I thought it did in the game as well. Alright, hold on.
Yeah, otherwise, why do they even give you the option to put people on there?
I could have sworn, I haven't used this a lot over the years, but I could have sworn that opens up space.
Well, like I said, why do you have the option to put people on injured reserve? It doesn't get you any space.
Right, because we gotta get a replacement for Carroll. So I think that requires that to get another free safety. Alright, so anyways, where were we? We were looking at guys who were available. Alright, let's go back to free agency. I wish there wasn't such a delay on this thing. Alright, so left tackles, left guards, center, forget that. Right guard. There's a decent right guard out there.
76 overall?
Oh yeah, and he's fully stacked too, in terms of he's 6'5", yeah, he's full green, 6'5", 330, 93 strength, 69 awareness. Let's check his blocking. Dude, he's solid. I think. Oh, you know where he came from? Pittsburgh dropped him last week. That's right. This is the guy you want on your roster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's get him on board. Absolutely. That'll be a nice addition. This guy might even be a keeper for a year.
Right.
Just to hold over and have him play another year.
How old is he? 32?
Yeah, you might be able to squeeze one more year out of him, and he's actually a starter.
Right.
Yeah, this is a freebie. Right. Why don't we do this? Why don't we put him to a 2-year deal, and we'll take the bonus off. And if you still want to cut him, there's no penalty. And then it'll just save you the time to have to re-sign him next year. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go back to the roster. Get that cleaned up. Okay, so we got Wall on right guard. You might be able to put him at left guard. Let's check it out. All right, let's go to depth chart to see where we can plug him in, because you can use him somewhere on the line and just make an improvement. So right now he's right guard. Where's the guy we just signed? Did we just sign this guy? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a 76.
Look at his contract just to be sure, but it should be 93 strength.
Yeah, that's it.
76 overall.
Yeah. So let's just compare him with who's starting.
He's got better strengths.
Yeah. And his. Yeah, they're about equal because Wall's got the better pass blocking, and then he's got the better run blocking. So they're pretty equal. So where else can he be put? So if you keep Wall at right guard, and I wonder if he'd be better at center. Let's check this. Let's check the blocking. That's not bad either. He's good there. Left guard. Davis. Let me check. Interesting. Yeah, he's pretty. Let me check Anthony Davis and see what his let's check to see what his morale is, because that might be the spot. You might be able to make a bigger game there.
Well, the thing is, my starting right guard has very low morale too.
Right, but you got Anthony Davis playing, so his morale's fully blown out, so he's good, and he's starting. White.
That's my point. So we have the left guard, Davis starting at left guard with full morale. The right guard is my starter with low morale. That might be where we plug in the guy we just picked up.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're both comparable. And this guy's a lot.
They're comparable, except he has higher morale.
Yeah, I would plug him in. All right. Yeah, let's do that.
I'm gonna try and replace my center.
You can put Wall at center. You know what I mean? Wall can come out, and Vincent takes over, the guy you just signed. So that strengthens up the right guard. And then...
If you plug him at center, what are his stats?
Let's check. Still better. Let's check it out. Strength is 90. Awareness, acceleration's better. It's dude. Yeah, there's a difference. Yeah.
Is he now? What's Wall's morale?
It's yellow. It's mid yellow. And let me check Grove. We'll double check. Oh yeah, I know what you're getting at now. All right. So Grove is all the way down. White is all the way up. No, I think it might be better if you keep White in. That's a tough one. White definitely has the green morale, but Wall is just slightly better on numbers. So that's pretty much a call. It's your call.
But what do we have on the free agent market for centers?
There is shit out there. There's nothing there.
No.
Yeah, that's the word. There's nothing out there. Everything's in the 60s. Yeah, the solution is on your roster right now. It's either starting White at full morale, or you go half morale with Wall with slightly better numbers.
What are White's numbers compared to Grove who's starting?
No, actually, White is starting.
Okay.
Because Grove is in the tank. He's completely in the tank. Yeah. So yeah, that's a flip of a coin. Whatever you prefer.
I guess it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, if White's got full morale, just keep him there.
Okay. All right, that covers all the offense then. Let's take a look at defense. Let's see what we got going on here. So Richardson is at the bottom. But let me check his stats. Ryan Wright. Middle. Okay, let's check all these three against each other. They all have completely different morales. One is top, one's middle, and one's bottom. You gotta stay with Richardson or Wright. Richardson and Wright. I mean, obviously Richardson's low. Ryan Wright's right in the middle. Yeah, Richardson and Wright have comparable speed, comparable strengths. Awareness is not so important. The agility is basically the same. Acceleration is the same. Tackling is only 5-point difference. In my opinion, Wright is a better physical specimen, and he's got the better morale. I'd start Wright over Richardson. Yeah. That's you'll get the most out of that. Let's see, you got Starks and Walker. Let's go back. Okay, Starks has got the low morale. Rucker has the high morale. Let's see. Okay, he's not the answer. I think we should go to free agency to see if there's a better defensive end. Yeah, and then if worst comes to worst, we can cut Rucker with pennies just to pay him penalties, so that's no big deal. We can open up the roster space. Yeah, there's definitely better guys out here, so left and right ends. Let me cut that guy for you so you can look at one of these guys. He's gonna go anyways. So. Yeah. Mincy's got to go anyways. All right, back to free. All right, his morale's excellent. All right, so strength out of this whole group, these guys got the two highest strengths here. They got the lowest speeds though, but that's okay. We're looking for a pass rush, accelerations. Yeah, what kind of defensive ends do you like? What kind of defensive ends do you like? You were on a 4-3, right? You like big guys? You like pass rushers, or do you like guys with strength that'll just bull rush, or what are your?
I tend to go. I've been going for more speed ends, but
I switched that. I did the same thing, and I pulled the plug on that because I noticed that my guys on the outside, my fast guys on the outside, they're not strong enough and they're light. And because I had Aaron Maven, and he was he had super good speed, great acceleration. Like he was that like real quick guy who can get around guys and stuff. I noticed I was having trouble getting around the bigger linemen, so I drafted a guy in the 4th round who was like almost 300 pounds, and I got 6 sacks in like 7 games.
So I've noticed there's things that don't translate from what real life can do compared to the game. The game tended to favor size and strengths over speed. I'm noticing, like in real life, those guys are lighter, but their speed can outdo the strength guy, and they'll be productive with sacks.
Yeah.
Where in the game, I feel like you don't get that X factor that these guys can do, with their athletic abilities, and the game ends up, even though they're super fast and excel, the game overcompensates for the strength on the other side of the ball, and they get pushed over. So I think you're right. I think I have to switch toward more. I have to fortify both my offensive line and my defensive line with strength and size versus speed.
In this case, yeah, for a while, because there'll come a point where you can actually take the time over a year or two to build a line that will help those ends. For example, in my other league, I got a 4-3. My DTs, my interior linemen, I got 2 interior linemen that are like 330 and 340 pounds. And because they're so big on the interior, they usually both require double.
So that it lets your guy
yes.
Get around the outside.
Yes. So in this game, I don't have that yet. So I had to switch gears in the meantime. because Maben couldn't do what he needs to do because my interior linemen were less than 300 pounds. They were like 280, 280-ish, So they weren't big enough to let Maben do what he needed to do. So it wasn't a Maben thing for me. It was my line wasn't built to support what I wanted to do with Maben. So I switched gears, and now I went with a bigger end because now that compensates for my lighter DTs.
Both my interior defensive tackles, because both are starting, Robinson and Babineau, are big boys, and they're both very good. So I figured I could put speed on the outside, but it hasn't been. I've been getting pressure, but I haven't been getting sacks.
Yeah. Right now, based on what your line looks like in that, I think you'd probably get a little bit more out of the bigger ends. And right here, you got let's see, you got McDaniel is 6'7", 310, and he's got an 89 strength. Let me check the strength and see who's okay. He's got the best strength. And Mosley, yeah, this McDaniel here is probably the biggest guy. And he's got the best strength to get that accomplished. He still has decent acceleration. His tackling is a 76. I mean, he's a good choice probably, and so is this C.J. Mosley. Mosley's shorter, but he's just a little bit heavier. Their tackling is comparable at 76 and 79. Acceleration is 68 and 70. Awareness is 7. These guys are very comparable. One guy basically has 2 more strength points, and the other guy's got 4 more awareness points. That's what it really comes down to, but they're almost the same player.
Go with McDaniel.
Yeah, he's got facial hair. That's cool.
Yeah. He's taller.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit more weight now. You gotta go potty or you did go potty? Yeah, that's not an answer.
Alright, let's get him back on the roster now.
Did you poop?
No, I'm good.
You want cards on? Did you poop? Let me see. Let me see your good butt. You ain't doing nothing. You're all talk. Yeah, the potty training craze. Nobody told me how awful this was.
Yeah, it's challenging, right? I mean, that's the word we use, probably challenging.
Yeah. He'll say he wants to go in the potty just because he's like, yeah, I'm in the mood. Let's go sit on the pot. But he won't actually do anything.
Yeah, he just likes to chill out, right?
Yeah, he'll chill out and he wants the potty song on, and he's just like sitting there dancing while he's sitting there.
You're like, dude, I got other things to do.
Well, and then he'll actually have to go to the bathroom, and he'll just stand in the corner, and I'm like, God damn it. Like, yeah, he's not. The potty is just like a novelty item right now. He doesn't realize it's functional.
Yeah, your interior linemen they're pretty solid. Yeah, Babineau's a problem though. He's still.
He's the one. He has low morale, and he was a problem even in the off season.
Yeah, because look, he's got this thing going on. He's got this team distraction thing going on.
Yeah, I tried to make him a captain to try and alleviate that, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I saw you tried that. This role decreases his player by 8%. While he has this role, every player on the team will receive a drop of. So this is an interesting situation because he's got 4 years left on his contract. He's going to ask to be traded by the end of the year. He's a team distraction. You have no bonus associated with him. So this is a tough situation because he's a good player that's got a lot of problems here. If you were to keep him, it drops everybody's morale on the team down by 1. It's tough because if you keep him on the roster, it hurts you. If you cut him, it gives you money back, and there's no bonus penalty, so that's a huge lift. But if you drop him, somebody could grab him, but they'd be grabbing a guy that's kind of a problem. But
now, is there any defensive tackles on the market that are decent?
That's the question, right? Let's go check that out.
If there is, I'll cut his ass.
Yeah, because he's hurting your team, and you're very fortunate that you don't have to deal with a signing bonus, dude. And I'm gonna make a quick comment. This Jared Gilbert that's on your roster, dude, this dude's good. Hold on a second. He's a 71, but I know why. We'll definitely go and look for other DTs, but I noticed though that his awareness is low, and awareness is not a top priority for a DT. He's got an 80 strength. He's got a 72 agility, which is better than even Babineau's. He's got an 87 acceleration, which is high and just under Babineau's. He's got 80 jumping. He's got a 71 tackling.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this guy's pretty good. Okay. Anyways, let's go to the free agency. You just happen to have a pretty decent guy on the roster. I wonder if you can find some monster DT that can help that frontline situation.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
And look who's on the top of all players. There's a DT that's a 78 sitting out there right now. Let's take a look at this. Roster's full.
Is he better than the guy you were just talking to me about?
Yeah. Yeah.
The 78 is? Yeah, go potty.
Yeah.
Go ahead, play the potty song.
You're gonna cut Babineau anyways, right?
I mean, I think so. I don't see a benefit of keeping him.
Yeah, because he won't play next year for sure. And right now he's killing your roster. And the computer might pick him up, but anybody who tries to pick him up, the computer will end up picking him up. So I don't think a player might, but at the end of the week, I always have to simulate a computer game so I can stimulate the free agent pickups by the computer. I guarantee somebody on the computer might pick him up. It's a risk that a player picks him up, but I think everybody's DTs are pretty solid. I don't think anybody's going to pull in a player that's going to hurt their team, especially, me or Jeff won't do that because we're trying to make a playoff run. So I wouldn't worry too much, but
I mean, to be honest with you,
yeah, what do you think?
Somebody picking him up and the benefit isn't what I need to worry about.
Yeah, at this juncture.
I'm too far behind for me to worry about getting
Shit.
one bench.
No, that's a good idea. Plus, your awareness on your team just went up by 1 across the board. So all right. So that's a good move. Okay. If you got time after we're done squaring up here, I wanted to show you something on my team, what I was doing, just for future reference, because I know we were just talking about how that line works and being able to make the speed. And I want to show you a couple of things real quick. Let's just check these top 3 guys out then. This Landry, Klecko, and Bradley. Let's see.
Are you all done? No, Mama, I'm asleep. Are you all done? Let's go get it. Alexa, Mom. Come on, let's get that. You just ran by. Let's go.
So real quick, Blaine, I just wanted to let you know I'm just checking some things here. I just wanted to see who was the strongest DT available. And this Paul Silai came up. He's 344 pounds. He's got 93 strength. Agility, acceleration. I'm just trying to see if... Nah, his tackling is low, but... I think I hit the jackpot for it. Called something. Anyways, back to the top. Yeah, this guy right here, Derek Landry. He's the top rated. He's got an 83 strength. Awareness is solid. Agility is solid. His acceleration is real good. His tackling is good too. He's the most well-rounded guy. If you wanted to target something, I can look for you. Like if you wanted to get like the biggest guy with the biggest strength who can you know cause the most disruption in the middle, that would be a different guy. If you want.
Because I got. Is Babino who was left, or is Babino the one who was the problem?
Babino was that you just dumped him, so.
Okay, so now my other guy, what are his strong suits? Because maybe I'll get a guy who isn't the same.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. So let's go check the other guy out. All right, so Damone Lewis in the middle. He's got high strength. He's almost 300 pounds. He's got good acceleration. Yeah, his strong suit is his. He's a bigger DT and he's got really good strength. So you can either couple him with another guy who's big and disruptive and he's got strength, or you can try to get a guy who's a little bit more agile.
You know what? I want meat. Give me the biggest guy you can find on the division.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I want the center of my defensive line to be Rick Sherrills.
Yeah. Let's check it out.
No, Mama, leave her alone. No, Mama. Yeah, because he's smart. He knows, like, yeah, no, Mama. He knows, like, how to open even with the child safety locks. The doors.
Yeah.
He figured out that, like, on some of the doors, like, he can't work the lock, but he knows if he hits it hard enough, it'll punch it open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nicole got home at,
Yeah.
Nicole got home at 8 this morning, comes to bed, and, he sees the door close, and he knows she's in there sleeping, so then he wants to barge the door down and go get her out of bed.
Yep. All right, this is the guy. I'm going to show you why. So it's a toss-up between this Von Martin at the bottom of your screen and Paul Solai at the top. This is the major difference between the two. Martin is 327 pounds, and I know Solai is 344. But I'm going to show you why Martin's better. So Martin's got the better speed by 9. The strength differential is only 2. The awareness is not a factor for DTs. And that's why Martin's overall is low, because he's got low awareness, but awareness is not a primary for defensive tackles.
Right.
So forget that. Now you look at the agility. He's got 13 more agility points, so he's winning big time. His acceleration is 8 more. So this
He's only 20 pounds different, and only two off of strength, but he is way faster.
he's way faster, better agility, and he's got better tackling, and he's got better acceleration, agility, jumping. Yeah, he's got him beaten just about every category. For the 20-pound differential, you're getting a big guy that can possibly pass rush.
Okay.
So that's the better pick.
How old is he?
He's 24. This is a guy you might be able to keep.
Yeah.
You know, put him on for 2, and then you always have a choice, and there's no penalty. So
Yeah,
high morale, super high morale.
What if I beef up my defensive line enough that I can take out Jeff's quarterback?
Oh, dude, wouldn't that be interesting? That would make for an interesting game.
Yeah, it would. Because my quarterback can't win me a game up against a starter. They're both
Yeah.
back, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's the one thing that would be nice is if Rodgers was in this game, he'll probably be in next week. But if he was in this game with these moves, I would think it would be a very interesting game. I think it might be something that would cause disruption. I think that there's possibilities. I think without Rodgers being in there, I don't think this can. I don't think you're going to win this game, but I think that what you're setting up though is the remainder of the year and pulling some wins and getting some performance. These are all the right moves. Granted, this game is not going to get the result you want, but it's definitely the right moves for the remainder of the year. And to set you up for what you can possibly do for next year.
I just need a couple wins to keep my morale from constantly going down.
Yeah. And I think the worst of your your schedule is over. Dave came over the other day to get a swipe, and we were looking at schedules. Dave's got the easiest schedule, and you've got the hardest schedule.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, because Dave's team it looks good, and they're doing everything right, but he has not been pressure tested at all.
Right.
At all.
Yeah, he hasn't been truly. Has he played? He hasn't played Jeff or anything, has he?
Nope. No, he doesn't play Jeff this year.
Yeah, he hasn't. He has a couple decent teams, but he hasn't had. I don't think he even played the majority of his games even weren't against like playoff teams.
No. He's playing one of the weakest records right now. So we were talking about that. I said, man, your team's looking good and you're doing all the right things. I go, well, what'll be interesting, I said, is when you play some of these other teams that have winning records and have been in the playoffs. I go, then you'll kind of get a gauge for where you're really at,
I don't think I played a team who wasn't a playoff.
No, dude, your schedule is. I'm not joking. When I say your schedule is the hardest of all of our schedules, it's true. It was by dumb luck because it wasn't scheduled to be that way. But what happened was some of the teams from last year that were at the bottom made big moves in the offseason, and now all of a sudden these guys are doing good. So you ended up playing teams that were not supposed to be that good. They just had good off seasons.
Yeah. So. It was like, man, everyone I'm playing made team playoff runs.
Oh, dude, yeah. If you look at your schedule, you played what? Did you play Jacksonville?
I played Jacksonville.
Dude, they're like 8-0.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's 8-0. Titans are like 6-1. I'm 6-1. You played Jeff. He's 6 or 7-1. It's like on and on. You played the 49ers, the Rams.
49ers, Rams, Pittsburgh. A lot of the teams I played were all top 10 defenses too.
Yeah. It was just dumb luck that some of those teams that were not good last year that you ran into, they got better. So it's kind of weird.
Well, like I said, this team's biggest curse is Murphy's Law. It's, even looking like I'm in a good spot, something happens. I'm not in a favorable position.
The key to break that is if you can. In fact, let's finish this up, and I want to see what your remaining schedule is, because I think if your remaining schedule lightens up and you can put four wins together.
Well, I got two games against Heisey, and that's probably my best chance to get some wins.
Definitely.
Yeah, I haven't played him yet, but if I can play him with at least having Rodgers back and a couple of these moves, I got a chance.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you're good there. I wonder if they're going to make you. I think you might have to get a free safety on the roster just to have enough to start. If that's the case, we can pick somebody up. Let's look at a free safety real quick, see what's out there.
Don't I already have two?
What? Yeah, but Carroll's on IR.
Yeah, but so I thought it didn't free me up any roster spots.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. Is that like if you go to play your game against Jeff, it's going to say you need a free safety.
Even though, it wouldn't let me sign people because it was still showing those guys on the roster.
Let me test it. I'm gonna put a save on this real quick, and then I'm gonna test it. Hold on.
That wouldn't make sense if it did. Like, hey, you need to have a free safety, but when I go to sign somebody, it says, hey, you're a roster.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. That's weird because I thought that was the whole point of putting someone on IR.
Right. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. All right. So I'm gonna pretend that you're gonna play Jeff. I want to see if it'll let you do it. Yeah, I gotta play the Rams this week.
That'll be a tough game.
Okay, it will. Okay, so it does work that way then. Okay. All right, so it doesn't free up the roster spot per se, but what it does is by putting him on IR, you don't have to get the other guy. Okay, so yeah, you're okay. So you don't have to get a free safety, but maybe let's take a look just to see if there's one that's maybe better. It can't hurt, right?
Right.
So right now, this guy Brandon Condren is the incumbent because of Carroll. Let's see what he's got. All right, he's a 67. All right, let's see what's out there. Can't hurt. Trying to find a balance. There's a balance between speed and awareness. And it seems like everything's kind of lopsided there. So you're all right. You know what? Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
If it's possible, if you could acquire one more player, perhaps even just for this game, just to see how it works out. If the anticipation is that it's 100-1 to beat the Chargers under these conditions, then there's nothing to lose except for just try to improve the team. So what I'm thinking is that Jeff's got some fast receivers. Maybe sign this free safety because he's really fast, and granted his awareness is low, this, that, whatever. But I'm wondering if you can test this guy out to see if he can play, because if you can sign this guy and not have to be beholden to a bonus or anything like that, there's nothing to lose in giving him a what do you call it, like a test drive. Because if he can reduce the ability for Jeff's receivers to threaten you deep, then there might be advantage to having him on the field not only today, but if he actually, yeah, when you run into teams that so if you can afford to get this guy on the roster, maybe you flip-flop between, depending on whatever team you're playing in the meantime. If you got guys that are going up, if you're going up against a team that's got really fast receivers, maybe he's the choice. Maybe if you got guys who got higher awareness, better hands and underneath, then the guy on your roster maybe goes in. I'm just saying you got nothing to lose at this point, and maybe this will provide some containment.
Yeah.
It's possible, you know. Let me see if let me see if I just want to touch something. Yeah.
I got nothing but possibilities currently.
Yeah, there's nothing but possibilities here. He's got good tackling too.
Nothing at stake to lose.
Yeah. This is a great opportunity to test things, to see if something works and challenge some of the players that are on the roster and things like that.
My team has become the movie The Replacements.
Replacements. Yeah, there's a lot of people being replaced. Yeah.
There's nothing more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose.
Yeah, that is true. That is definitely true.
You ever seen that movie?
I have not.
Oh man, you gotta watch it. That is a must see.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Yeah. There's a lot of inside jokes and a lot of funny stuff. There's a lot of big actors in it. That is a good movie. The premise of the movie is the NFL goes on strike, but they still want to have a season, so they have a whole bunch of scam players fill in. So they find a whole bunch of shit like that. They just build scat teams. John Favreau plays a great role. He's an ex-college football player who became a nut job SWAT team officer. And he's got like rage problems, so like he's just out there trying to like kill people. And John Favreau is one of the points in his career where he's in really good shape. And then you got Keanu Reeves is the level-headed quarterback who's, you know, he washed out of the Sugar Bowl and he had really high potential, but then, you know, he bombed out because, you know, he had a bad Pro Bowl in college or whatever. There's like a lot of really funny. It's a comedy drama. Like it's got some seriousness to it.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing. You gotta see it. And like I said, it's all these guys who they're replacing starters, all pro players.
Yeah.
That play NFL games, and then at like one point, the entire Dallas Cowboys team decides to cross the line, and all the pros come back, and they won the Super Bowl the year before. So like for Seattle to get into the playoffs, they have to all these replacement players actually have to beat the current world champion pros.
It actually sounds pretty interesting.
It's a very, like I said, it's based off of stuff that could happen in real life, with a little, you know, movie flair.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Gene Hackman is the coach.
Oh, dude, I like Gene Hackman. Yeah.
Yeah, Gene Hackman's really good. I would recommend if you get a chance, watch the movie. It's funny. It's good. It's a good football movie. You know, it's a lot of, you know, underdogs to good is good.
Yeah, that's good. You know, I am gonna watch it. I'm actually just making a note right now, and I got that Amazon. I'll look it up. I'm sure I can find it there.
Yeah.
So check this out. As I was talking to you, I happened to check something out. So I was looking at all the details of your current free safety, and the guy that I actually found on there, he's actually better. Like across the board. So, with that being said, I'll show you.
What's the catch?
There really is no catch. I think that the catch is, I think that you might have to open a roster spot to get him on. If that's the case, you're better off dropping the guy you got and pulling in the other guy.
But aren't Carroll's stats lower because he's hurt?
No. I'm not looking at Carroll. I'm looking at Condren.
Oh yeah, well then drop the guy I got.
Yeah.
On the better.
Yeah, let me just double check the other guy's morale just to make sure I'm not making a mistake here. Yeah, because the other guy's actually better. He's a lot faster. The only thing is his awareness is a couple points lower, but that's not going to make a damn bit of difference at this point. Couple of points there, and you're gaining a ton of points on the high end. Yeah, this guy's faster, taller. He's got four less awareness points, which it is not. You're going to gain so much more on the speed. You got 6 more speed points, better agility, acceleration's at 95. Again, you're playing a team that's got high speed and everything. You're going to be playing Heisey. He's got speed. This is a better guy to have on your roster. He's bigger. His jumping, tackling's better by far.
He's the better athlete.
Yeah.
And he's bigger than the other guy in general. So he's a more physical specimen. I like it.
Yeah, he's definitely a better player to have on the roster. So, yeah, that's an improvement. All right, so let's bring him on board, and then I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah, and then I just want to take a look at my linebacking core and see where I'm at. I know I lost a couple guys to injury. I got a couple rookies. I'm curious what their morale's at.
Yeah.
Because my linebackers were strong, but I feel like they're starting to fade with some of the injuries I had.
Okay. Oh, that's great. He's at full green, so excellent. Yeah, we'll drag him in for 2, just to give you some
One thing I've noticed too, what I have to get out of my DBs, I gotta start thinking of DBs who have better catching. I would have had like 20 more interceptions this year if my guys could catch, but it hits their hands, and it always, unless it's just a game,
No,
it's like, oh,
no,
it's a pick.
no, you're right.
My guys, it's hitting my defenders in the hands, they're beating the guy to the ball, and they're not catching it.
Yeah. So yeah, let's take a quick look at your corners. I'll tell yeah. No, you're 100% right about that.
Mind you, my best corner's gone, but
Yeah. Yeah. See, Scarlett's got good catching. Yeah. So your catching is in the on an average, it's probably in the mid to high 50s.
right.
You know, I mean, obviously Scarlett's got better catching. The problem is that his speed's an 86 and he's 5'8", so he's a little challenged there. But yeah, on a whole though, yeah, you got to definitely improve the catching.
Yeah, like I said, the guy I had replaced that I had put there was supposed to help anchor that core, and I lost him. I mean, one to you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. If you know, as you go into the off,
I needed him.
no, I agree. If you go into the off season, like sometimes I'll go into the off season, and when I'm looking for corners, I will take a chance on a corner with lower awareness if I can make sure he's over 6 foot and his speed and agility are good. Because when I'm thinking about players on the field, when I'm looking at wide receivers with good agility, and they're going one-on-one with the corner, that agility is everything. Because when that guy makes that cut, that's where he gets the separation. And if I got guys that have, like for example, let's see, Goodman, granted he was out, and Williams are out. But before you sign these guys, because you brought both these guys in off as free agents, so before that, all of your agilities were in the 80s, and your speeds were basically 90, 88, 86, 83. Now, on the flip side here, if you go to my team, all my guys are over a 90 in the speed. And then when you look at the agilities, look at my agilities: 95, 94, 95, 91. Obviously there's an 87, but it's flip. Like you got one guy that's got the 90, and then the rest of the guys are at the 80s. All my guys are in the 90s, mid or high, and only one guy is in the 80s. See, look in the acceleration, I look for really quick, agile backs, defensive backs, because they can stay with the receivers. Because once that receiver makes his first cut, if he doesn't have the acceleration and the agility, that's where the separation happens, and then all of a sudden the quarterback finds him, hits him, moves the chains. So
And now, don't you need good awareness in your secondary though too, across the board?
yes, but raw skills and talent cover for a lot of that.
Well, that's kind of how I built. Like that's what I did with my receivers. I didn't go with high awareness, but they're all racehorses.
It's opposite.
Like that.
It's opposite for receivers. You need the high awareness. You need better or balanced awareness for the receivers. You need less for the corners. It's opposite of what you're thinking.
So it doesn't. So on offense, you need the awareness to be able to run the right routes
Yes.
to get open.
Yes.
But on defense, you need the raw physicality to
Follow the receiver.
follow the receiver.
Yeah, I mean, granted, if you got if you got a low, like for example, look, I drafted this kid here, this Jay Turner. He's 6'1", 193. That's big for a corner. So I was looking for size. Look at his agility and his acceleration. It's high, like really high. So when I go up against, I purposely drafted this guy to go up against your receivers and Jeff's receivers, because your receivers and Jeff's receivers have good agility and acceleration. I've got to be able to match that. All I got to do is follow him, because remember, the defender isn't deciding where he's going to go and doesn't have to run the pattern. He's got to follow the receiver.
Right.
So, and his awareness is a 66, which is just middle of the road. So that's a good pick. But his downfall is he's a little bit slower, but he's there though. So he's a good prospect, and I picked him up in the 4th round. So that's a steal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's it's opposite. So the receivers have to be smart enough to run the routes, and they're the ones who are trying to get away from the corner. The corner just has to follow. It's not that awareness isn't important. It increasingly gets better than a guy with those raw skills on defense. They get really, really good, but they got to follow the corner or the receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I like even like if you look at Jeff's corners are built the same way as mine, and that was just done luck because we didn't talk about it. But look at this. He's got all those speeds. Granted, his awareness went up because he was getting some progressions. So that's what's making his secondary really good because he's got the speed and the awareness. But like Mark, the Chiefs, and he'll tell you, he goes, he realized that his guys had low awarenesses. Even though Clemens has a 92, but look at his speed.
Right.
But he's filling a gap right now. He's a short-term solution. The guys with the awareness, what'll happen is that if you look at this guy and you go to rolls, so if you're looking at any player and you hit the X button, it'll take you into this player management screen. And if you go to rolls and hit rolls,
Yeah.
they have special icons. See how he's got the lock?
Yes, I see.
Yeah. So even though he's slow, he's got the lock, and the lock makes him a containment corner. This particular kind of player, he doesn't have the blazing speed as it says there, but because of his awareness, he'll go into places to make the quarterback think he's got more space than he's got. He'll anticipate the play, and he'll make a different kind of play. So that's where the advantage of having a guy like this is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like me, I don't have this kind of player on my roster, but Mark does, and he actually plays them. So what he'll do is this guy will line up a little bit off the line. This guy will give cushion, but he'll anticipate the quarterback's moves and he'll attack the ball as it's in the air. And again, not all players have these roles, but if you go into your team, for example.
But is it really benefiting Mark because his secondary is suspect?
Because his secondary is not where it needs to be. He's got a patchwork quilt going on. So it's his front seven's generating most of what he needs, but he's got a mixed bag back here. He drafted this rookie who's really helping him out now. The dude's 6'3". He's a 6'3" corner, I mean, and he's got the lower awareness, the lower agility. He's helping, but he's got a lot of work to do in the secondary,
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's because, like I'm saying, like trying to find these guys with these specific roles.
yeah.
If you're losing a lot of other qualities, it's like how much is it going to?
Yeah.
How much are you gaining?
Yeah, right. You gotta, again, when you're building the team, it's not about one individual player. It's how you pair these players together. So check this out. So this is a good example. So on my offensive line, so if you go to my offensive line, my left tackle, okay, it's Joe Staley. If you click on him and you go to rolls, he's got the shield. He's a defined pass blocker with bonuses. If you go to my left guard, go to rolls, he's got the shield. I got 2 shields in a row. Now you go to center, you go to Monroe, you go to rolls, he's got the shield. Dude, I got a wall of shields on the left-hand side of my line.
And the shields are what, pass blocking?
Yes. I mean, even if my guy didn't have the pass blocking shield, he could still have good pass blocking. But when you get a guy that's got the pass blocking role, that gives him, those guys they get individual bonuses. Now you string 3 of those guys together on the line, all of a sudden you've got a wall. And my quarterback is like very, very protected because these are like 3 of the top pass blockers in the league.
Right.
So when you start attaching icons together, then all of a sudden things happen.
See those types of calls? Will they have those types of icons when you go to like draft them? Like as a rookie, can you get that type of stuff?
No rookie has an icon, except for a rookie will come with like it might be a quarterback of the future or something like that. But all the rookies come out straight. Once you look at their stats and you say to yourself, all right, so when I drafted Eugene Monroe, he wasn't a shield. He was a rookie when we did our original draft. But I knew though that he had the potential to be a shield because his pass blocking when I got him, I think was a 90. So I knew that was his strength. He had a much higher pass blocking than run blocking, so I knew he had the potential to be that. So I tried it out, I played him, I started, and eventually he earned it in the second season, Because at the end of the year, look, he had 101 pancakes in his first season. That's extraordinarily high. So that's huge, that's triple digits. So I knew that he would become that player. So like if you got a guy on your roster or something like that that's got like, you know, a 90-something run blocking and like an 85 pass blocking, you already know what his strength is. So you know he's a good run blocker. If you continue to play him and start him, he would probably develop into the run blocker icon. And when you get a run blocker icon, for example, not there, hold on a second. So Stacey Andrews, on my other side of the line, he's got the run blocker icon. It shows a truck, a Mack truck. So he gets bonuses for run blocking. So whenever my guy runs on that side of the line behind this guy, I get advantages to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you gotta shopping for people with icons when you pair them up is advantageous.
Oh my God, yeah. So my goal now is, because I got a run blocker icon on Stacey Andrews on the right, what I want to do is I want to start looking for a right guard. See, none of these guys have icons, but I want to develop a player or get a player that has another Mack truck, because now I would have, on my right side of the line, I'd have two trucks. My left side in the middle, I'd have all pass blocking, and I would have extraordinary strengths on both sides of the line to manage both passing and running. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, so like in the off season when you're shopping around for like free agents and you're trying to, all right, this is what I'm looking for, this, whatever. When you open up the player in free agency, you'll be able to see if he's got a role or not. So he doesn't, but he does. So just pretend he was a free agent. If you saw roles, you go in there, read what it is, and if it's something you want, then you go after it. Quarterbacks, like I think your quarterback, your backup quarterback that you picked up in free agency, I think he's got an icon, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Or maybe it was the one that we were looking at. I can't remember. So your running back has to have it. So let's check him. So, yep. So your running back, he's a speed back. He's got the Achilles, the sneaker with the Achilles wings on it, and so he's got advantages too. So he's a speed guy. Once he gets out in the open and stuff like that, he's gone. One of my receivers, the guy that I drafted the free agency, not drafted, the free agent I picked up a couple weeks ago. If I go into him, he's got the hands. And it shows like a hand icon. He's a possession receiver. He runs really good routes. He has really good hands. He doesn't have the big speed, but his routes are crisp, and he catches the ball and he doesn't drop it that much. So that's the sort of thing that. So like your quarterback. So Aaron Rodgers. So he's a game manager. This player is considered a game manager. This player loses his role if his overall exceeds less than 89, drops below 81. This role increases his value by 4%. This player expects to play. This player receives a boost in awareness and throwing accuracy on third down plays. So quarterbacks have all kinds of different icons that you can get. Some of them have like the cannon arm. Like if you go to Stafford's got the cannon arm. Yours is a game manager. He gets bonuses on third downs. some quarterbacks have, it looks like a target, like you're looking through like a scope of a gun. Those guys have really high accuracy. They don't have the cannon arm, but they're very, very accurate. Throw pinpoint passes. When you couple one of those kind of quarterbacks with a possession receiver, your production starts to go through the roof because they're like, it's a good combination. You know what I mean?
Right, a guy who always has a good route and good hands. It's a quarterback who always knows where to put the ball.
Yeah. And then, like, if you got a quarterback that's got a cannon arm and you got a receiver that's got the Achilles, the speed thing, then another powerful combination. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all about combinations of players and building the team that work well together. You know, I mean, it's all the shit we talk about at work, getting the right team with the right people, with the right attitudes. It's the same thing with this game. The game recognizes that when you build a team, if you get the right players playing with each other, like we were talking about the defensive line. If I put two DTs in the middle that are like 300 something pounds with big strength, I can use those lighter ends. But if I got guys that are 275 to 290, and I got two of those guys in the middle, and I put two guys who are like 260 on the outside, I'm not going to get the job done. It'll happen once in a while, of course it will. But to consistently become the team that's known for applying pressure on quarterbacks with those edge rushers, I got to have two guys in the middle who complement them.
Right.
So that's all the shit that's going on that we're trying to figure out as we're going along. It's going to take me a couple years to build a team that I envision in my mind, you know. So that's kind of all the shit we're doing today. So just trying to get better players and look for better combinations. Like, for example, when we went to our original draft, when you guys started going after those receivers were going off the board like hotcakes, and I realized I was going to have to scrap something together because you guys were all picking in front of me. I was the last player to pick in the draft, and
so that helped you figure out what kind of defense you needed.
It forced me to change what my game plan was, because I remember I looked at you, I was sitting next to you, I go, I gotta change gears. I go, you guys took the receivers that I was planning on building on, so what can I do at this point? I go, while they're grabbing receivers, I'm going to be the first guy to grab corners, because I got to get the best corners available to counteract this thing. Otherwise, I'm going to get my ass kicked. And that's what happened to Mark last year. So Mark didn't do that. So he had the sketchy secondary, and he ended up with 5 wins on the season or 6 wins on the season, and his secondary got torched. So, you know what I mean? So he had better receivers, but you can't have it all in year one. But I did know that in order for me to compete with you guys, I had to go top dog on receivers like you were, or top dog on corners, and make sure that I had my defense built to counteract your offenses. Because even though you're not winning games playing, you're racking up a lot of yards. I mean, some of it's in garbage time, but you're still able to push the field and you're torching people.
Yeah, I mean, I had a big play opportunity. My team definitely, like I said, it's boom or bust, more or less.
Right, and what you want to do is flatten the curve. Your curve is boom or bust. And the thing is that when you boom, it's always on those big plays. But the problem is that nobody runs big plays on every down. You don't run a big play on every down. It's not streaks. You're not running streaks on every play. So what's happening on the majority of plays? Guys are running patterns. They're doing slants. They're doing curls. They're doing post patterns. You got to have enough players to move the chains so that you suck the defense in, and then you strike with those players. Now you got an offense that's functional. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what my hope was. Since he had Joel Williams on the team, I was hoping to help sustain her to a better run game.
Yeah.
But I haven't had much of a run game even with the 3-year veteran.
Yeah, and it's not, and it's because of combinations of circumstances at this point. You know what I mean? I think if now that we've made a bunch of moves for your team here, this will give them the best opportunity to salvage some games this season and set up for the off season. So when you go into the off season to rebuild, you're gonna want draft. Do you remember Jimmy Johnson back in the day? You were probably young, but do you remember when Jimmy?
He coached the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson comes out of Miami U. He takes over the Cowboys, and he trades his number 1 player. It was Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker was one of the premier running backs in the league. I mean, he was actually tearing it up, right? He trades him for a whole bunch of draft picks, right? And everybody thinks he's nuts. Everyone's like, he just gave away the best running back. It's the cornerstone of the team and stuff like that. But his team needed so much stuff that he was trading for assets. He was trading assets for picks.
He needed to round out his team better.
Right. So he got rid of his top player, and he started moving assets around. Some of his best players he moved around, but he was getting like a bunch of draft picks in return and stuff like that. So that particular year he went to the draft, he had like a bunch of draft picks and future considerations, and he turned the team into a multi-Super Bowl team within a matter of years. Why? Because he got rid of top players that had bad morales. He got all new players that had good morale, that had good potential. He ripped the team to shreds, started from scratch, and within 5 years, or 6 years, they won 2 Super Bowls. So you're in that position. Yeah, he designed his team from scratch. So he inherited a team, and he's going, nah, I got a different vision. So when you're going into the offseason, I'm thinking, it's interesting because things look ugly right now, but it's like, you know what? If you trade some of those assets, or even to some of the player teams, you can pick up 3 draft picks here. You can go into the draft like.
I did that this year and thought I was going to be in a prime spot, but because of the way the game focuses on the morale so bad, I lost so many players. I just had to instead of building, I had to replace, and it screwed me.
Yeah.
Because I was in prime position to build on what I had, except when it came time to re-sign players, almost my entire secondary bailed.
Yeah. You haven't.
So instead of building, it was just replacing, and I couldn't with the talent that I lost.
You're gonna, by the end of this year, depending on how things roll out, you're gonna be in a type of position where, in your mind, if you want to build a team, you're gonna be able to do it because you're gonna need to bring in some good free agents that got good morale, and when you do that, you can handpick them to fit what you want to work. So if you look at your coaching, so if you go to look at your coaching, let's go take a quick look at your coaching, for example.
Well, the big thing I think that's going to help me this year is I'm not cutting my coach.
Yeah, keep him.
I'm keeping him, and I lost a 3rd round pick, but I got a 1st, a 2nd, a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. I think one of the things I'm going to do, other than having to use a friggin' 2nd round pick for a kicker.
Yeah, right.
See, that's gonna kill me again. I need so many things, and I have to waste such a high goddamn draft pick on a stupid kicker.
Gotta have it.
It's gonna kill me. See, just fundamentally, it's like demoralizing to me to have to waste a pick on a kicker.
Dude, let it fly over your head. Dude, don't just. It's necessary. It's required. Forget the NFL. Think in our league, it is so important to have a kicker. Just forget the NFL because it'll drive you nuts. In this case, we need kickers. You've got to do it. It's part of the game. You need it. So it is important. So pretend that it's like it's a top priority. It's like, no, I need a kicker. Kickers are important, and just don't compare it, and then you won't have to deal with that bullshit.
It does. It like eats at my soul.
It's killing me.
I'm like, am I really spending a draft pick? I could be getting a premier player, and I'm getting a guy who kicks the goddamn ball. Like, it does. It's like one of those, it's like a nervous tick. And the entire time, I'm just mad about it.
So I'm going to give you some good news. So check this out.
Yeah.
So at the end of this season, if you can see your screen, at the end of this year, these are all the kickers whose contracts expire. Lindell, Gostkowski, Nedney, forget Janikowski, Akers, Dawson. I mean, look at some. These are like a lot of the top kickers. Like, look, folks at 99. A lot of these kickers are gonna eventually they're gonna end up hitting the 1st round of free agency. If they make it to the 2nd round of free agency, I think they're gonna be available to us. I would say that there's going to be a small percentage of these guys who are not going to get signed. You may be able to get a veteran kicker this year without even having to draft one.
If that's the case, then I'll be in good shape.
Yes, dude. That's where the games are won, dude. Look what I did in the offseason. All I did was pick linemen. Dude, we went to restricted free agency. I got a lineman. We went to free agency session 1. I got a lineman. And when I went into to trade, I used my computer trade this season. I got a lineman. I literally put 3 brand new linemen on because I'm building my trenches, because everything else falls in the line after that. You got good lines, you can have average players and you can be a good team.
Well, that's what it seems like it's starting to come down to is, why does my secondary struggle at times? Because my defensive line isn't getting to the quarterback and they have too much time to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Why isn't my offense thriving? Well, because they're getting to the quarterback and they're not getting time to get open. So it's
And if you
both sides of the ball, I need even though I have some good linemen, I don't have it's not solid enough.
Right. So you know what we should do in the off season, and it'll be kind of fun. We can have some beers together, dude. In the off season, as soon as the season ends, we got to and we get access to seeing the draft. We should do a war room session here at my place. Get some beers, order some food, and we should look at the draft, and we can forward it so we can see all their numbers, and we can just talk through it and stuff like that, and identify and pinpoint good players. Because obviously I do that alone most of the time. But I mean, if you wanted to come down and just kind of like rip through players, say, hey, I'm looking to build a line and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on these types of players? And we can just kind of have a football session. It'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, it'd be awesome. But yeah, I do think that by free agency session 2, there should be some leftover kickers. So between that and the draft, I think there's going to be some choices. So it'll be helpful, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah. All right, dude. I think we got everything lined up. I mean, I think you're ready to go from today forward. I think you just run this incarnation of your team between now to the end of the year, and as your guys come back off injuries, you just plug those guys back in.
Now, one of the things you had up with Rodgers, it says he starts to regress if he's under a certain point.
Yeah.
What was that point? Because he might be under it, which might be why he struggles.
He's not there yet. I think, let's take a look. I think it's 81. He's nowhere near an 81, so you should be fine.
No, but he has regressed a lot since they've got him.
Yeah, let's take a look here. This player loses his role. Oh no, it says he loses his role if he drops below an 81, but he's nowhere near that, so he's not going to lose his role. I mean, not this year, not next season, but no, he's all right with that. He's lost. Quarterbacks will lose morale and sometimes some numbers if they get hit a lot over the course of the year, if they take lots of sacks, if the team's not performing. It's just all the things that you suspect. Joey Harrington's got the numbers. He doesn't have a role. Okay. So can I make another suggestion, possibly?
Yeah.
So your backup quarterbacks, they're pretty similar. They got the 8.
You don't have good backups at all, for sure.
Yeah, that's hard to do. Usually by year 3, everybody's got good backups. I remember when you picked your backup quarterback, I saw on the free agent, I saw a guy, one of the quarterbacks had the cannon arm. I think it was Kyle Bowler. I was just trying to think of how you can maximize your receivers too. Boston stinks. Oh, Patrick Ramsey. Yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, these guys got the good arms, but their accuracy's low. And you got to have some kind of awareness. So, no, you can't improve on that. I was wondering if there was a guy that could help connect with your receivers, but
yeah, the ones I got were pretty much the best of what was available.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's run it out and see what happens. See if there's anything good to pull from the game. You know what you should be watching in this game is specific performances, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of the overall result, it's specific performances. See how that offensive or that defensive line is doing. Did you get a little more time to throw this thing? You know?
Yeah, we said some of, like, losing Burns was disappointing because as a rookie, I wanted to see how he progressed, and losing him for basically the season, it was another hit. It was like, man, like, I needed that guy to get better.
Who'd you lose?
Burns.
Oh, Burns. Yeah, that would have been nice because he's obviously he's the future. You know, he's a. I mean, he's a good. I mean, he is really. You got to steal out of him, dude. He's a top 10. I think he was a top 10 rated wide receiver. Yeah.
He was, and I got him in the second, and he only ended up playing half a season. It was like shit.
But at least you got him on your roster. At least you know you have him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least.
I gotta keep his morale up if anything. That's
Right.
The biggest struggle I'm finding is the losses are killing my morale, which is killing the overall game plan. Because people who I have that are solid won't play for me.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, there's holes in the dike, and you're sticking all your fingers in there and trying to keep all the water from coming through. You know.
Yeah, and it's the hardest part being like I plug in a good player, but then his morale drops, and now I have a morale issue in a spot that I shouldn't be trying to patch up because it should be held, but it's not because the guy doesn't want to play for me.
Yeah.
It feels like there's always a constant leak, basically, or a constant repair.
Yeah. But once something good happens, then it'll start shifting the balance. It'll start going the other way. Now, that worked. That's working. You just need one thing to start working, and once that one thing starts working, all right, that's locked up. Now I got to do this because that's what Mark says. I talk to him all the time, and he was telling me he's got leaks all over the place, and he goes, I finally got this taken care of. Now I'm going to start focusing on this. And when I go to the off season, my defense is finally locked down. Now I got to get myself a wide receiver because he needs a legitimate wide receiver because he's got bunch of bargain bin things going on wide receiver. He's got smoke and mirrors at wide receiver, but this year was all about the defense, and then next year he's going to look for a receiver. You know, and you know what? It's funny because you're talking about Burns and everything like that. Who knows, man? If you don't like where he's at the end of the year, I mean, granted, obviously he's got a lot of upside, but say his morale tank or something. You could probably trade him for a king's ransom to someone like Mark. Maybe he'll give you a first and a third or something like that, and then you can.
Oh, you know what? Mark is getting the snake oil treatment. I'm gonna give him something, but I tell him, I'm gonna tell him that this guy was phenomenal for me. He was so good. This guy's exactly what you need, and I'm gonna make him give me like a second or a third round draft pick, maybe something more. And he's gonna get him, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, that guy was a pile of shit. That's what you can bring to me, Carpenter.
Yeah, that's a bad example.
He's getting. I got the Trojan horse on him. I'm devising some type of plastic. You know what? I should have traded him bad though. That's what I should have given him the guy who was a disruption in the locker room.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. That's interesting. Hold on a second. I didn't put the save on this yet, and I think I did it after the save. So hold on a second. Hold on a second. Wait a second. Let me test this for a second. I'm gonna save this to a new file. Hold on a second. You might be onto something. You might be onto something.
He would be a disruption in my locker room for the rest of the season, but it doesn't really matter at this point.
No, it's better that he's off your roster. Let me do this. Let me double check to make sure I didn't throw that through. Because if that's the case, and we still got the file before all the changes, maybe you give him a call and you make some sort of deal going into next year. Because he needs he needs a DT. And Mark thinks he can fix anything. So you might actually be able to get something. That's a good idea. All right, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Yeah, you're on to something. Yeah, maybe just on the Trojan horse back into Kansas City.
Oh yeah, that is the entire game plan.
Yeah. You know, at the very least, at the very least, you can get something for him instead of just cut.
Right.
Yeah, let me see if I got a previous file. I think I did.
His kicker hasn't been doing anything crazy, has he? Like, he's better than what he had, but is he game changing for him?
No, he's definitely better, and he's hit some kicks that he probably wouldn't have gotten in the past. No, his struggles are in other places. His kicker's he hasn't had a lot of attempts, but the attempts that he's had, they're pretty solid. Yeah, his kicker's doing good. I think by the end of the year and in the next year, he's gonna be one of the better kickers. He'll be the right kicker. Oh yeah. His kicker's the big guy. There's no question about it. He hasn't been in a lot of big game-changing situations. Alright, he's gone. That's okay. I might have the original. Yeah, let me check this, because you know what? If I got the original file, I can just reload all those moves that we just made. It'll take me 5 minutes, and then if you wanted to put the feelers out there and see if you wanted to make a trade. Yeah, don't even mention that you're going to cut them. Just, you know what? I'm gonna have to get him off my roster for next year. This and that, but oh wait, we can't trade right now. What the fuck am I thinking?
Well, that's what I was saying. I would have to have him on my roster for the rest of the year. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But that's why I said, it doesn't make a huge difference because I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you meant. I didn't get what you were saying at first. Okay, I must have misunderstood. Okay, let me just check. I just want to see something. I just want to see how many years he had left on the contract, because then maybe it would work. Abino had 4 years on his contract, so yeah, if you actually held him, you could shop him for a trade next year. Let me see how his value goes down, though, because of the team distraction. His value's down by 8%. I don't know.
His value is down?
Because he's a team distraction, so when you go to trade him, his value will drop by 8%. Yeah, if you were to trade him to a computer team, you wouldn't get much for him, but if you traded him to a player team that was interested.
Well, like I said, I could try to get him to Mark because he needs a DT.
Yeah, let's check his DT situation. I think he needs a legitimate DT if he doesn't have one. Let's see what he's got. Oh, wait a minute. He's got one. He needs a second one. Yeah. He's got this Trevor Laws. He's I'm trying to see if I'm trying to look at the difference between Laws and Babineau and see if he would even consider that. You know what? I won't post any of the moves yet, because I want to make sure we got to post these moves and these pickups on the group text. I'll do that for you. Don't worry about it. Maybe before I post that, maybe throw it out there. Just hit him up and see if he'd be interested in looking at it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because if he says he might be interested in it, then.
Does he have any good offensive linemen?
Let's see.
Because that's what I'm shopping for. Like, how's his center?
Let's see. Nah, he's just average. You can get the guy he's got here. Coming off season, you can pick this guy up anywhere. He'll be in restricted free agency.
Does he have any good offensive linemen?
In all honesty, his offensive line is very pedestrian, which is part of the problem. He don't have. He's got his right tackle's pretty good. His right tackle's good for sure, and and his left tackle. He's got 2 tackles, and after that, any guy who's on his line, you can just pick up anywhere. They're just not. They're average.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll tell you what. Before I put anything out there, see if he might be interested. The thing is we got to make that. We got to figure out if he's legitimately interested or not. Because if it's worth talking about for an off-season trade, then I can go back in and I can put all the moves in minus Babineau.
Right.
But if he's not interested, then we'll just keep it and we'll just run the game tonight.
Okay.
All right. Let me know what you find.
Yeah, I'll text him and see what he's interested in.
Yeah.
And if not, I'll just tell you to carry on as is.
Yeah. 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 Because if he's around, he can check it out. Tell him Babineau's an 85 overall. You know, he's a legitimate star, but because of the problems and stuff like that, he's a distraction on my team, and I'm looking to shop him around.
Okay.
All right. Let me know. I'll be around.
Sounds good.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yep, thanks,
All right,
brother.
you got it.